Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for winning the Super Bowl. You know, I had a Seattle Seahawks shirt on deck, not because I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm a Broncos fan. But this go with my Wave Runners, the Easy 700s, perfectly, and it's vintage. But I want to talk about the dumbest team in the NFL. This, this equals dumber than not giving Marshawn Lynch the ball on a 1 yard line when Seattle lost to the Patriots. It's the Minnesota Vikings for letting Sam Darnold go after one stellar year. This could have been Minnesota beating New England in the Super Bowl, but they didn't want to pay Sam Darnold. Now look at the top 10 paid quarterbacks in the NFL to my left. Just look at the top 10 quarterbacks. All these guys are making over 50 million. You know what Sam Darnold is making in Minnesota? 100 million over 3 years. That's like a little bit of 33 million a year. So Minnesota, after he had that 44,000 yard, 35 touchdown season, Minnesota ain't even want to re-up. He's like, we're not paying Sam Darnold because you're Sam Darnold. You're the one that sucked for the New York Jets and said you were seeing ghosts when you played the New England Patriots. We're not paying you. You're Sam Darnold. But after seeing that, you know, they weren't going to pay Sam Darnold and Geno Smith was getting shipped to Oakland, the Seahawks needed a quarterback. And Mike McDonald was like, Sam Darnold for 33 million? I could swing it like that. I'm with that. 33 million for Sam Darnold. When he did in Minnesota, they sort of got the same roster build as as the Seahawks, Minnesota, on offense. Better skill players you can argue with. Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, Naylor. They're just as good as Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, who had a down year, and AJ Barner. Then you got a comparable running back in Aaron Jones, who's a better pass receiver than Kenneth Walker. And they got a good defense. This could have been Minnesota's Super Bowl. Only thing Minnesota had missing was Sam Darnold, and they had the inside track for keeping him. Sam Darnold is only making 33 million a year, and he didn't get no bonus for winning that Super Bowl. Now Minnesota has him locked for 3 years on a 33 million a year deal. Now, what if he just doesn't go to another Super Bowl? They got him for 33 million for 3 years, finessed and didn't even have to give him nowhere near the 50 million minimum that the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL is making right now. They're making 50 million a year. They got Sam Darnold for 33 million. And this is why we got stupid franchises that never won the Super Bowl. You just seen it in Cleveland. They waited so long to play Shedeur. And when the crowd wanted Shedeur, the locker room loved Shedeur, the fans around the world wanted Shedeur, they kept playing Dylan Gabriel. Some teams just shoot themselves in the foot. And I like the way Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl because it's a perfect Cinderella story. It's a perfect ending to his career. When he was a rookie with the Jets, he threw 4 interceptions against the Patriots, the team they beat in the Super Bowl. And Minnesota didn't want to pay him. They just said, we're not paying you because you're Sam Darnold. But the Seattle Seahawks was like 33 million. Oh, I take that. I can swing it like that. I'm with that. Come on, Sam Darnold. We don't pay you 33 million over 3 years, a little bit over that, and give you 100 million. It's just crazy how bad teams are and bad franchises keep doing it to himself. And I feel sorry for Justin Jefferson because he had a rapport with, you know, Sam Darnold, and now you see you got a rookie who ran the ball 80% of the time in Michigan, the Blake Corum, and you're telling me that he's gonna get you the same amount of balls and yardage that Sam Darnold did? Man, Justin Jefferson was going through it this season, and then you see your quarterback that's getting paid nothing hardly for a starting quarterback. Kirk Cousins is getting 80 million for 3 years. He barely sees the damn football field and doesn't even start. And you just seen the quarterback that you had last year. Your franchise let him go to Seattle when he won the Super Bowl. Come on, that's the stupidest. franchise in NFL history. Stupidest move. That's worse than Marshawn Lynch not getting the ball on the 1 yard line.
Maybe one of those guys who has a collegiate and a professional football title. He's in the end zone, and Seattle's up 19-0 in Super Bowl 60.
So I'm an old school Laker fan, and I'm not so much of these fly-by-night LeBron fans where LeBron comes to this team and that team. And, oh, I'm a LeBron fan. No, you are a meat rider and you're a bandwagon. You cannot be a fan of one player, bro. This generation is crazy because Jordan played for the Bulls all his career and he went to the Wizards. And then you had Kobe Bryant play his whole career. No one ever said there was a Kobe Bryant fan. They're Laker fans. And what the Lakers need to do right now is get back into the Laker business and get out of the LeBron James business. Because Rich Paul and LeBron can start some drama, and they did it after the OKC game. Now, you got Austin Reeves back, and Luka is not there. SGA is not playing this game, and Jalen Williams has been playing lackluster. You got to win that ball game. You got to win that ball game against the OKC without SGA. And the funny thing is, when OKC held off to the Lakers at 1-9 to 119 to 110, he threw his team under the bus. Here's what LeBron had to say.
That's a championship team right there. We're not. So I don't understand.
What are the biggest things you think that are keeping this team as right now?
We can't sustain energy and effort for 48 minutes. And they can.
LeBron James, you're a legend. You're a Hall of Famer. You're the second best player that ever played of all time. You're an all-time NBA leading scorer. You have more points than any NBA player ever had. But the problem is the Lakers, they may not be a championship team, but you're not a championship player. Look at these highlights.
They have not relinquished it. Here is LeBron. Look at LeBron. He's trying to shoot away. It's LeBron versus Joel, and he loses it. That was.
You know, the more I see shit like this, the more I start to think that the LeBron has no bag allegations are fucking true. Look how trash this shit. But no, bring it back. Let me really break down how trash this shit was. Left foot is his pivot. Then he switches to the right foot. That's already a travel. Spins and then smokes the fucking layup after all that.
And have you ever noticed that the media, ESPN, Nick Wright, at, FS1 never says anything when the Lakers lose and LeBron has 17 points, 18 points, or 20 points. You never hear about that game. Soon as LeBron has a 30-point game, 35-point game, 40-point game, oh, he's doing this at year 21 and he's 41. Wow. The thing is, LeBron is no longer making people better anymore. It's a clip where he's talking about Gabe Vincent switching, and he doesn't say, Gabe, you need to do this, you need to and take leadership. He says, this guy keeps moving this way, and he keeps doing it, and they say, who? And LeBron says, nods his head at Gabe Vincent while Gabe Vincent isn't looking. Which at first I thought that's the right thing to do, because with social networks, you don't need to be chewing your guy out like Jordan did. Like Jordan would be yelling at people, like, you missing your assignment, this and that. But it's better ways LeBron could have told him, like, Gabe, you can't do this. I know you want to do this, but this is the correct way to do it. You could have said that to Gabe's face and been respectful for it. But how, you gotta have tough skin to be an athlete when you go into war with LeBron every day, and LeBron saying we need a better roster. That's like saying you suck, or get us a better roster while LeBron is taking up $52 million. You can't get a better roster if you're taking up $52 million and Luka's taking up $40 million. You can't. And the team is predicated on LeBron's skill set. but it's a new NBA. Like LeBron's time was about over in 2021. The NBA changed. Everybody switches. And while you see LeBron can score a lot of points, at sometimes LeBron is a liability on defense. You can chase down somebody and block their shot from behind every once in a while, but if someone has a bag or somebody puts you in action in that pick and roll or you get lost in the back cut, that's when you see where LeBron is not a good defensive player anymore. Then you see the missed layups, the him falling down, trying to go to the hole. That's Jordan with the Wizards, bro. If you look like at LeBron's stats and Michael Jordan's stats for the Wizards, they're comparable. Only thing is the Lakers were trying to win championships right now, and the Jordan and the Wizards was just trying to make money. And Jordan was like, if I do this for the Wizards, they got the inside track of me owning the team. And Jordan ended up owning the Charlotte Hornets. I think they were the Charlotte Bobcats at one time. But yeah, the fact is the Lakers may not be a championship team, but you're not a championship player no more. And I wish people keep saying he's going to Cleveland, because Cleveland don't got the money to pay LeBron. And if the Lakers want LeBron to take a pay cut, I don't think LeBron would take a pay cut, because LeBron said he doesn't want to be the guy hanging around too long. Well, taking a pay cut is indicative of you staying around too long. They want you to take a significant pay cut. So if LeBron is not going to take a pay cut to stay in La in LA, you think he's going to go all the way across the country to Cleveland? Cleveland? No disrespect for Cleveland, but LeBron is not taking a pay cut to play with Cleveland with heartless James Harden and heartless Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell only had one good playoff run, and that was when they was in the bubble, when him and Jamal Murray was swapping out 50-point games. But I just feel like LeBron shouldn't have threw his team under the bus. LeBron has to say, okay, I'm not the same player I was. So, and we're not a championship team. But it seemed like he was saying, this is not, I don't know, did he say this is not a championship team? I think he said this is not a championship game. He didn't say we're not a championship team. So when you say this, you're preferring to your teammates and not yourself. If you would have said we're, you'd be like, okay, we're not a championship team. But without SGA and you had your backup, Austin Reeves, you got to win that game in LA. But like I said, you're 41, you're off and on. Like you said, after every back-to-back, I'm questionable. You just sat out because of your foot this game. Now you can't win MVP because you're not going to be able to. Well, you can't even go to the All-Star game. So LeBron is not going to make the All-Star game because he's sitting out. LeBron can't make the All-Star game because he hasn't played the required 65 games that you need to play to make the All-Star game, because that's sick of people sitting out for injuries. But this is another thing. LeBron does not care anymore. You know how many fans want to go see LeBron James in the All-Star game, and you can't play because this culture of resting and load management. If your foot is that bad, I don't want to.
He's going to keep stopping it. It's happened a couple times. Keep stopping it, man.
For the lateness, Super Bowl Sunday, plus my phone had a cracked screen, so I had to get that fixed, but I'm back. I want to talk about the NBA trade deadline, because it's a lot of fool's gold that the NBA media is trying to, portray on us or force us to believe. Like, one, Giannis is not going anywhere, and I think they made it look like Giannis asked for a trade. But Giannis ain't going nowhere. He about to sign that $270 million extension to stay there. Because even though Milwaukee sucks, Milwaukee tried to put things around Giannis. They got Dame Lillard. That just didn't work. But they tried. They got Miles Turner, Trent, what is his name? Gary Trent. And pieces is just not working. But Milwaukee is trying. And Giannis is like, I want to win, but I want to win here. But Giannis, you're injured half of the time. So maybe you should take some accountability. And his whole family is in Milwaukee. So his family got a job as long as he's in Milwaukee. You think some of these other teams that want to trade is going to take his two brothers? Minnesota should put that in a contract. You take Giannis, you got to take his two brothers too. Giannis can say that. Giannis can force his way to any team he wants to. All you got to say is, if you trade me here, I'm not re-signing. I would only re-sign with the Lakers, and my brother's got to come. So that would force you to get traded to the Lakers. Or Minnesota can just let him rock out and lose him for nothing. Because not Minnesota, I'm sorry. Milwaukee can just let him walk out and get nothing. Because they didn't like Golden State's offer. OKC has the most to offer him, but you don't want to mix Giannis, who's over 30 or going on 30, with that young core OKC has. Houston, you don't want to give up Sengun or Amen Thompson or Fred Van. Well, yeah, Amen Thompson, Sengun, and a bunch of draft picks and match, you know, Giannis with an older KD. Because the way everybody switched now, these older players is cooked. I'm sorry. But at least Milwaukee tried. Another thing that's full gold, Anthony Davis to the Wizards and Trae Young to the Wizards. Trae Young is hurt right now. Probably wouldn't come back. Then you got Anthony Davis, who already said, I'm laying it down for the rest of the season. We said the same thing about the Mavericks when AD got traded for Luka Doncic. He was like, oh, they traded their best star, but they got a number one contender or NBA championship contender with Kyrie and Anthony Davis. What happened? Kyrie gets injured a lot. So Kyrie is out and Anthony Davis is injured. And Dallas is a million games below 500 with a great rookie Cooper Flag. They ain't making the playoffs. So what makes you think AD is going to be healthy next year with the Wizards? Now, that's what the media should say. Oh, if AD can stay healthy, they could win the East. No, they just like, oh, they can win the East. Oh, they're serious contenders. They're turning the corner. The Washington Wizards also has old Chris Middleton. The Washington Wizards had Russell Westbrook before he gets shipped off to Sacramento. The Washington Wizards is becoming a franchise where stars are going to die. Anthony Davis is going to the Wizards to die. So is Trae Young. They're not going to make that franchise any better. Look at old Chris Middleton. That was Giannis' boy. He's dying in Washington right now. So Washington is where Jordan had to retire. This is not a good sign for Anthony Davis. It's not. Like Anthony Davis is what, 32, 34, but you might as well say he's 41 because it's injury history. He's the same age as LeBron. He's a 41-year-old in his 23rd year, even though he's probably on his 13th year, but he had so many knee injuries. I think your man's Gilbert Arenas called them Bambi legs. Then what is Kyrie ankle? What is Kyrie Irving? Tenderfoot? Because he always hurt too, and he missing a million games. And then we got James Harden going to Cleveland. This is a team that can score a million points with that backcourt, but they have no heart. 2 years in a row, the Cavs was ruling the regular season with defense and offense. 2 years in a row, they get put out in the second round. Once by New York, and they get ran off. Once by New York, the year Denver won. Then last year, when OKC won, they got ran off the court. They got outplayed by New York. They got punked by New York. Then they got ran off the freaking court by the Indiana Pacers. They looked so damn slow. I think they lost to Indiana 4-1, and you was the favorite. I think you was the number one seed in the East, and you lost to the Indiana Pacers 4-1, the gentleman's streak. Now you got the heartless, bearded man, James Harden, that can get you a 50-point regular season game. But when it's playoff time, he shrivels up like a guy with his balls tucked in between his legs. James Harden has no heart in the playoffs. We've seen it too many times. We've seen it in Houston. We've seen it in OKC. We've seen it in LA with the Clippers. Then you got Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, who disappears. He's a good big man, but like Charles Barkley said, when you're a big man, to be a good big man, you have to be an asshole. Jared Allen is a big man, who's a nice guy that doesn't work in the playoffs. You have to be an asshole if you want to be one of the best centers. Joel Embiid. Who else? Nikola Jokic. These are assholes. That's why they're so good in the paint. They get hit and knocked around so much. So you got to be mean to be a center in the NBA to be successful. So Victor Wembanyama, he has a little asshole in him. You know what I mean? And he's what, in his second or third year. So I'm not buying these trade deadline deals that the mainstream media is trying to tell you about, because we've seen it happen the last 2 years with Cleveland. We've seen James Harden has no heart at all in the playoffs. We also seen Anthony Davis and Trae Young miss a lot of games through the regular season. And why you miss those lot of games, Trae Young is not doing it with Sar and Kayonte George. You know what I mean? And Champagne. Them niggas is gonna get packed up without AD and Trae Young if they're missing a lot of games. That's why Dallas is not in the playoffs picture right now. I don't even think they're in the play-in because Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis is missing so many games.
Look at Russ there going for the steal. Harden this time finding Allen, the big fella rolling to the back.
Out kind of when he can and push himself and challenge the defense and where he cannot.
Allen knocks.
They're saying no threes. Hardaway up on Harden. Harden dancing. Harden got it. James Harden.
Now I want to talk about Will Campbell's excuses, man. He's been playing horrible in the playoffs. Played horrible in the AFC Championship. Played horrible in the wild card weekend. Played horrible in the division round. And after the Super Bowl, he said he tore his ligament in his leg after during the season. Like towards the end of the season, he tore a ligament in his leg. I'm calling cap because you would have told the Patriots about that injury. And if you didn't, you're just selfish. You know what I mean? Why would you put yourself and quarterback at risk if you were playing with a torn ligament in the leg? You're not Garrett Bowles. You're not Tarek Armstead. You're not good. You're not 80% of you or 60% of you is not better than half of the NFL. You're not one of them tackles like that. You're a rookie that's on trajectory of being a bust after these playoff series. You lucky that the defense of the Patriots was very good, and the Chargers' offensive line was injured. You're lucky that C.J. Stroud played the worst game of his career, and you're lucky that you had to go against, Jarrett Stidham instead of Bo Nix. Unless you guys wouldn't even get that far, but you just ran out of gas. And I feel like if you did tear a ligament in your leg, you were selfish and could have got your quarterback seriously hurt, Drake May. But I feel like a lot of people is saying Denver would have beat the Patriots if they had Bo Nix. I don't know about that because I believe it, but it's a very possible scenario where Bo Nix loses that game against New England in Denver. Like we beat the Raiders, that was terrible, 10-7. Even though Oakland, Las Vegas, I would say, beat the Patriots the first game of the season. That's why we got home for an advantage. But we had a stinker against the Jets. I think we beat the Jets like 11-10. And the Patriots defense is better than the Jets defense, and their offense is better than the Jets offense. And we had a stinker against Houston. We only won that 15-11. And we put CJ Stroud out the game. But we seen Peyton coach some stinkers on the offensive, end. And that Patriots defense was good. So I'm gonna say we could have beat the Patriots, but now I can say I'm not gonna make any excuses because it's a possibility we could have lost that game with Bo Nix. I'm sorry.